everything leads to the restaurant dining room, in the middle of which, shining like a jewel, we find the kitchen. Here in full daylight is the hunter of authentic flavors, the simple gentleman with sure and elegant movements, the flamboyant choreographer of the art of good living who has never turned his back on sacred things. Here is Roger Souvereyns. Everyone in this group likes their meat very rare, right? I'm not a factory worker. No, this is art. Every single day. Each client eats something, you have to start with each client, and everything is timed precisely. All the meats, everything else as well. And you still enjoy it? Every day. No problem. I love it. I feel good when I'm next to my stove. Some people can't understand it, but too bad for them. But I'm happy. That's the main thing. Hello. I'd like to share a recipe I created for my 40th birthday. I've always been a great fan of spoons, a great lover, ever since my childhood. So this is a recipe I present in a spoon. Well, why, you might ask? Because I think eating from a spoon gives a better sensation of the flavors, the spices, and the composition of a recipe, because you eat everything all together. So this is raw French foie gras, some chicons, which are Belgian endives, truffles from Périgord, of course, all flavored with nutmeg, pepper, salt and sugar, and deglazed with sherry vinegar. When the recipe is finished, we cut the foie gras with a mechanical meat slicer in very thin slices. To do this, the foie gras must be cool, not frozen, but cold enough to stay whole and not break. So I start by putting some olive oil in a frying pan. And I heat it up, really nicely hot. The endives are then cut into chunks about 3 centimeters in length. And I cut the truffles into julienne. The frying pan is nice and hot, and the endives go into the frying pan. I add some salt. Some pepper. And I saute this on high heat. Now this has to be cooked extremely quickly because the endives give off a lot of water, so we cook fast on high heat to get rid of the water. Otherwise the endives will be swimming in their own juice. I add a touch of shredded nutmeg. And now, in order to eliminate the slightly bitter taste and to caramelize it just a little, I put in some very fine sugar. I add the truffles. And as they're not fresh truffles, they've already been cooked, I can add them nearer to the end. When truffles are in season, I add the fresh truffles earlier in the cooking so that they can give off all of their flavor during the cooking. I now deglaze with some sherry vinegar, just a few drops.
Je la présente dans la cuillère.
I present it in a spoon.
Je présente le foie cru, qui est coupé en
So
carpaccio.
here's the foie gras, cut into a very fine carpaccio.
Et j'ajoute
And I add
au moulin 4
a mixture of fresh ground pepper.
Voilà, donc
And that's the presentation of our appetizer. Sautéed endives, foie gras with truffles, flavored with 4 kinds of pepper.